What is going on, guys? Dave from Wake Up It's Football alongside of Ezra from Idiot Sports Talk, bringing you guys a 2015 NFL Draft Edition in the Red Zone Blitz. We're a couple weeks away, so we thought we'd bring you guys a Red Zone Blitz. Ezra is getting shipped off to Japan. I don't know what he's about to do over there, but Ezra, how's it going?
I love how you say I'm getting shipped off like I committed a crime, I'm getting deported or something like that.
What is going on, guys? Dave from Wake Up It's Football alongside of Ezra. What is going on? What is going on?
What is going on? I do apologize. Okay, whoa. But like I was saying, I'm going to Japan on my own personal choice on Monday, so those will probably be my last video for the next 2 weeks. So we gotta, and I'll come back. I think the day before or the day of the NFL draft. So I'm excited about that.
So you're gonna be able to catch it.
Of course, my Jets future is at stake here. So you damn right I'm gonna be catching it.
Well, I took the day off. Actually, I took both days off. I took the Thursday and the Friday off from work. This is my Christmas, man. And the sad thing is, since I got in this job, I haven't been able to do what I've wanted to do with the channel. I think not too many draft profiles. I've put up 8. Last year I did 44. So
now you know what I go through.
Yeah. No, I mean I haven't had time. I haven't had time to do a mock draft. That will actually be happening soon. I'll post up a mock draft maybe a week or so before the actual draft. But
a full first round mock draft today. We're gonna do a small mock draft, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go through some teams. Give the players a potential home or landing spot. Break down some of the prospects who we think is on the rise. Who might have had some draft stock fall, and we should be talking potential trades, the whole Phillip Rivers thing, who's going to trade up for Mariota, all that kind of stuff. We're going to break it down in this next hour and a half on the Red Zone Blitz. So we can start at number 1 at Tampa Bay. And everyone wants to talk about Jameis Winston. Well, here comes the rape allegations yet again. But according to the Buccaneers, they say that they've been aware of this potential this instance or this case or whatever, and the possibility that this person may file against Jameis. But, he's been in the news 2 weeks before the draft. I don't know if that's going to affect anything. I don't think it will. But Jameis Winston is being talked about as the number 1 player in this draft, even with all the off-the-field concerns. I think I'd personally take Mariota over. I don't know. I watched the tape. I didn't like either one to be taken number 1 overall. I don't think they're worth the number 1 overall pick. Jameis because of the off-the-field issues. Mariota because some of the on-field concerns with his game. I think he's a little bit more mature than Jameis, but I don't. It's going to be interesting to see the number 1, number 2 overall pick, and what happens if Tampa Bay dupes everybody and takes Mariota number 1. I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing as a Jets fan, I'll be very happy, but I don't think Jameis Winston will drop to number 6. Even if the Buccaneers surprise them out of nowhere.
I don't think he goes number 6. But the most recent news about this number 2 pick at Tennessee is the fact that there's a lot of smoke in San Diego right now saying, okay, the possibility of Phillip Rivers being traded to Tennessee in order for the Titans to acquire Phillip Rivers would mean they'd have to trade back, the Chargers trade up, and draft Marcus Mariota. I think that would have to include the San Diego Chargers first-round pick, obviously, this year, along with Phillip Rivers, in order for them to trade back. Then you have the possibility of Philadelphia trading up for Marcus Mariota. You have the possibility of Cleveland trading up for Mariota. The Jets and the Bears at 6 and 7 have interest in Mariota, have interest in that number 2 overall pick. And the fact of the matter is the Tennessee Titans are pretty confident in Zach Mettenberger and his abilities. They're calling him a poor man's Tom Brady right now, and they're surprised and they're shocked that they were able to get him in the 6th round last year. So I think many people will agree that I think Tennessee ends up trading out of this pick for whichever team ends up offering them, the house for Marcus Mariota or Jameis Winston, depending on who Tampa Bay take.
I don't see that happening. I don't believe in the scenario of the Chargers trading Phillip Rivers and their first round pick. I don't even know if that will be enough to get the number 2 overall pick. Another thing is, at this time of the year, it's all a game of poker. Okay, are the Titans really interested in drafting Mariota? Do teams really believe that? Are they going to call their bluff and actually fold in their cards and trade up for him? The teams that are really interested in Mariota, besides, let's say my Jets are really interested, they're at the number 6 spot, trading up to number 2. They don't have to mortgage a whole lot to go up those 4 spots. But of a team like the Eagles or the Browns, the Eagles at 20, the Browns at 12, to jump up all the way to number 2, you have to do something like the Ricky Williams deal with the Saints that goes back 16 years ago. You virtually have to give up your whole draft to move up that far up. So I don't think teams are willing to sacrifice that much to get Marcus Mariota. He's no Andrew Luck. He's no guaranteed, stud in this league. He's just not worth it.
I mean, I just said it 5 minutes ago. I said, I don't think either one are worth maybe the number 1 or number 2 overall pick. But the quarterback position is so, so cherished. And in my opinion, if it's not like in the top 3, it might be the number 1 position in all of sports. That's the most important. If you don't have a quarterback, you're probably not going to get anywhere. And there's been a couple of teams that have proven that wrong. But the fact of the matter is, man, you need a quarterback. San Diego's looking at it as, Phillip Rivers is getting old. Last year, his contract. If we move the team to Los Angeles, which I haven't even looked, too much into at all. I haven't read up on it. If we plan on moving to L.A., Phillip doesn't want to go to L.A. How about we trade him to Ken Whisenhunt and the Tennessee Titans, former head coach? We get Marcus Mariota, arguably the best quarterback in this draft between him and Jameis, and we, start building our future yet again with this quarterback. Now, Tennessee's side of it is like, hey, we'll acquire, a potential top 10 quarterback in the league for the next couple of seasons. We'll acquire an additional first-round draft selection by trading back, and whatever else they decide to, snag and get out of San Diego. I don't know who wins this trade because we don't know how Marcus Mariota is going to deliver for the Chargers if they do pull the trigger on this. But as of right now, if just looking at it on paper and from what I've seen when I watch the tape on Mariota compared to what they would be giving up for him, I think the Titans would win this trade by trading back and acquiring Phillip Rivers. That's just me. I think, it would be in the Titans' best. And the other thing is Tennessee was, in the last couple of seasons, they haven't produced at all. They haven't done anything. They haven't had good quarterback play. They've drafted solid wide receivers who haven't had anyone who could get them the ball. So this is probably the most plausible out of all the scenarios. I mean, here's the other thing, Ezra. The possibility of the Eagles trading up to number 2. I've seen crap like people saying, oh, well, then, Chip Kelly's going to have to trade Sam Bradford to Cleveland to acquire their pick, and then they're going to trade these. And it's just like people are trying to grab all kinds of pieces from everywhere, and it doesn't make sense to me. So I think the most plausible.
My thing with this whole Chargers, rumor and everything, they're a good team. They're a solid team. They went 9-7 last year. I know they tailed off at the end of the season. Why would they trade for Marcus Mariota? It seems like if you do that, you're mortgaging your future, and it seems like you're sending a message to the fans, we're rebuilding. It's not like you trade for Marcus Mariota, you're improving. You have one of the best QBs in the league, a top 10 QB. Now you're going to rebuild with a new guy? It's not like they have a powerhouse at running back either. What will happen to that offense? You will have to have a whole new scheme. You will have to go through the growing pains. when you already have a solid team. It would make, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. You're sending the wrong message to your fan base, and I don't know. It just doesn't make it doesn't.
Well,
Just
I mean, here's the thing: is it the wrong message to the fan base that you're rebuilding, or is it the message that, hey, we have a new, exciting, young quarterback who, you know, we haven't had this feeling since Phillip Rivers, since we drafted Eli Manning and traded him for Phillip Rivers. We haven't had this feeling.
Do
since
you really
2004.
care about that? Let's say
we don't know. Maybe that's their mindset.
Traded Aaron Rodgers tomorrow for a young, exciting new quarterback. You think you care about that damn commercial or that new poster? Would you care about? How would you feel? Would you be like, you know what? We got that new young guy. All righty. How would you feel, David?
Okay, well, what has Phillip done in 11 seasons?
We're talking about now.
But what has Phillip done? Here's the thing. Since they traded for him,
what you're trying to say,
they acquired him in the draft.
You asked me this question because what you're trying to say is I will be pissed off, Ezra. I will go insane if they traded Aaron Rodgers and tell me I got a nice young piece over here. Right? That's what you're telling me by asking me this question. What has he done in 11 years? That's what you're telling me. Thank you. What has he done in 11 years?
What? I mean, he hasn't gotten him to a Super Bowl.
He got him 30-plus touchdowns. That's what he did last year.
But he hasn't gotten him to a Super Bowl.
We got to stop. We got to stop this. We got to stop putting all the blame on the QB. We got to stop all the glory for the QB. All right? Tom Brady does not carry the Patriots to the Super Bowl. You know, we got to stop all this glory and blame just for the quarterback. It's getting ridiculous. Okay, I am sick of it already. This is why people get on Peyton Manning. He's not, he's not the greatest. He can't be in the top three. He only won Super Bowl. He doesn't win big games. Like, please. It's getting lame. That narrative is getting very lame on my end. I'm sick of hearing it. Phillip Rivers, yes, he deserves some blame. They haven't got to the Super Bowl, but does he deserve? He's the reason they haven't gone to the Super Bowl. That's what we got to stop that. We got to.
You say we got to stop it, but you can't deny that there are a lot of GMs or executives or coaches or whatever in the NFL who have that mindset, who say the quarterback is the leader of our team. The quarterback is the guy who really, distributes the ball throughout the entire offense, hands the ball off, pass tight ends, receive, whatever. He's the leader. He's the guy who everyone looks to. He's the face of the franchise. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm saying this. The Chargers gave up on a QB because he didn't do nothing about his 4 or 5 years there with a Hall of Fame running back. And where did he go and win a Super Bowl? He left and won a Super Bowl. Who's that QB before Phillip Rivers?
It was Drew Brees.
What did he do in 5 years? He was a good quarterback, right? Just a solid guy, And he leaves and becomes a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. Drew Brees retires tomorrow. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
He won a Super Bowl with one of the most terrible franchises in the NFL. But I bet you plenty of people, those first 4 or 5 years, Drew Brees, he hasn't won much. He's got LT back there. He's got all this talent, all this expectation. He's not that guy. He's not the leader. He's the one to blame. You draft Phillip Rivers. You got that hot young piece, right? That new exciting guy. And he goes and wins the Super Bowl with another team.
And don't forget about the injury that didn't, that didn't want the Chargers to bring him back. For Drew Brees.
I know. That's why the Dolphins didn't sign him either, but that's a different story. I'm just saying, people with the narrative, is this guy, is the QB.
I just told you, if the Titans and the Chargers make this deal, the Titans win this trade. And the reason I say it is because I think Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback than Marcus Mariota is. Point blank. And I'm not dissing Phillip Rivers. I'm not saying that he's trash, garbage, whatever. I'm just saying potentially the mindset that this organization has is this, which was Let's bring in a fresh young guy. Let's bring a little bit more excitement.
I'm just saying, as a Chargers fan, if I'm a Chargers fan, I don't want this. I don't want it. It's not like, okay, now if they were the 5th pick, if they were a top 10 pick, I'll be like, okay. But when you're in the middle of the pack, you're going to give up a whole lot for a guy. You're rebuilding. You're rebuilding in one sense, but then you don't have the pieces to rebuild. You're putting a whole lot of. They must have. If that happens, you know how much faith, the grade they gave Marcus. I absolutely love him because you gave up your future, you gave up your top 10 QB for potential.
Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Tennessee will win this trade if they can acquire Phillip Rivers and the Chargers' first-round pick. That's huge.
Anyway, so you said your first pick. Let's get back to the point. You said your first, the Buccaneers, you have them picking Marcus Mariota. You have them surprising?
No. I said that would be a shock if they duped everybody and took Marcus. But I'm going to have to stick with the popular pick that everyone's saying. I'm going to have to say Jameis.
Yeah, well, to me, it only makes sense. That team, they have a lot of holes, but when you have a quality quarterback that, that has this is my guy. If my Jets, had the pick, okay, I want James Winston, okay? He's projected. He's got the intangibles. He's got all the makeup if you want of your franchise QB, the size, the strength, the awareness, the pedigree in college. The man went 26-1. He ran a pro-style offense. He's got all the good stuff you want in the QB heading to your team. So, yes, if I'm the Buccaneers, I am drafting James Winston.
So, depending on this trade scenario at number 2, let's hypothetically say that Tennessee stays.
That's what I'm going to go with. That I'm going to go with.
Would they take Marcus?
Huh?
I said, would they take Marcus if they stayed at 2? Just because, we're hearing that they're very, very confident. And then here's the other thing: if they're very, very confident in Mettenberger, then why the hell do you want to bring in Phillip Rivers?
Like I said, I think it's a.
I'm not
because Marcus doesn't even fit Kate Wisenhunt's,
he
style.
He doesn't.
He doesn't fit his style of offense. So I think it's all about. I think they want to trade down, and by creating this, perception that they're interested in Marcus Mariota. We're gonna. The Chargers are interested in this pick. They're just trying to. Anytime someone calls, so what do I need to get in a second? Well, the Chargers just called me. We like Marcus a whole lot. You're gonna have to give up more than usual to get. I want that Washington type thing. Give me 3 first-rounders. Maybe that's what they're trying to. That's all. I think that's what they're trying to do. Overall, right now, I have them stuck at number 2. I don't see any. The only team that I see in the top 10 possibly go up to get Marcus is my Jets. Okay, because I don't see anybody. I don't see no other teams giving up that much to go to number 2. So that's why I have them stuck at number 2, and I have them drafting Williams, the defensive end / defensive tackle.
Leonard.
Yes, Leonard Williams.
Yeah, I watched tape. He was the first prospect I watched tape on, and from what I remember, I might have to go back at some point and watch. But there was just something about him that bothered me, and I don't know if it was a combination of I felt from the games I watched him play.
His hair.
It wasn't his hair.
Because he could compete with you a little bit. You guys got nice hair. I don't know if you like that.
No,
you don't like competition at that. I'm just saying. But okay, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't the hair. I felt like as if he wasn't, as good as everyone says he was in the stuffing or run stopping department. Sometimes I felt like he'd stand up too high. His pad level got high. Sometimes I felt like he was just dominated by the opposing offensive lineman. And I'm not saying he's a bad prospect. I'm not saying he's not a top 10 or top 5. I just there's just when you hype up a guy so much, the way that all these Scouts have hyped him up. All these analysts. I don't know. I didn't see it.
I hear what you're saying. You know what? He's not a Sue. He's not a can't miss prospect. Okay.
Everyone's making him sound like he is.
I don't think I've heard that much talk. Like I'm hearing that he is the best and most safe prospect in this draft, and he's, you know, if there's a guy based on ability and potential, he should go number one. That's what everybody's saying. But I haven't heard like this guy's a generational defensive tackle like a Sue. I haven't heard that type of hype. But I've heard, you know, this is the safest bet. This is the best guy in this draft. I think Mel Kiper has him number one in his big board.
I don't know. I didn't see it. I know who I have number one on my big board, and I promise you nobody has him as number one. From all the 8 prospects I watched, I have a guy who's number one that nobody else has number one on their board. I promise you that.
Okay. So who do you have the Titans taking at number 2? I got Leonard Williams. Who do you have? Or do you have your trade scenario going down?
I would have my trade. I would much rather bet the trade scenario goes down, or them trading back with a team that trades up for Marcus Mariota, because I cannot see them taking Marcus. Unless, I don't know, like you said, it's a poker game. Unless they're duping everybody, I don't know. But my money's on they trade back. Someone trades up for Marcus. That's my.
Okay, if you're gonna give a prediction, what team is gonna go number 2 then? Come on, David. You gotta
I'm gonna say San Diego.
San Diego. Oh man, All right. Hey, that's what a lot of people are saying and stuff like that. I don't believe the hype. I don't believe it.
Okay. And number 3,
their new management. You know, it's that stupid. It's plain and simple. I'm gonna go that far. Okay, they should be right on Idiot Sports Talk with me. You're gonna be that stupid? Come on down. I got plenty of space. All right. So the number 3 team is the Jaguars. I'm hearing a lot of, you know, what are you hearing at number 3?
Leonard
Fowler,
Williams.
right? That's what I'm hearing. Fowler.
Fowler. I don't know where Fowler came from. I'm gonna stick Leonard Williams at 3 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's where I'm gonna put Williams.
I think the Jags would love him at number 3. If he falls to number 3, I'm with you there. But since I have Leonard Williams going number 2, my 3rd pick for the Jaguars would be Kevin White.
Really?
Add that. Yep, I have Kevin White because, you know, you drafted your franchise quarterback last year. Now let's draft him a nice big weapon, 6'4". You know, what is it? He ran a 4.3. You know, he's got the size, the strength. You know, he had this breakout year in college last year. I don't think he's the best wide receiver in this draft, but he has the most potential. So I think they want to add that to their young QB.
He ran a 4.35.
4.35. So, you know, what is he? A 6'4"? He's got a nice body type. He's solid. I really like him a lot. So, I mean, well, intangibles. He's got the makeup to be a great wide receiver. He's got that high potential. He's got more potential than Cooper.
Right. And here's my argument. Anytime a receiver gets taken that high, you have to compare him with the guys who go that high. Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson. Maybe, because Sammy Watkins got taken 4th. Sammy Watkins, A.J. Green. Is he going to be one of these guys? Is he going to be talked about as a top 10 receiver the second year he's in the league? Will he be that guy? I don't think so. Well, I don't think so. I don't think he gets taken at 3. That's too high in my opinion. But you're not wrong in saying that having a nice big wide receiver in Jacksonville for Blake Bortles to throw to is a good idea. But that also goes back to the fact that they did take 2 receivers last year in Marquise Lee and Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I know they got some very nice, you know, they got some young talent at the wide receiver position, but none of them are the big weapon potential that is Kevin White. They're not those guys are not true number 1 potentials.
Right.
You like Marcus Lee. You like Hearns, who had a breakout year. Robinson. Those guys, any of those three guys could play the slot.
Cecil Shorts. Don't forget about Shorts.
No, he's Cecil Shorts. He's on another team now.
Oh, that's right.
He's on
Texans,
another team.
right?
You want to give your young QB a big target. You put him with the tight end they just signed,
Julius Thomas.
You got some 2 big targets in the red zone. Plus, you got these other young wide receivers. Hey, you give your young QB a lot of weapons.
Okay.
That's
Kevin,
my thinking. I know their coach, Gus Bradley, is a defensive guy, and usually they go defensive players this high. But I believe, management is going to say, no, let's add this. Or let's have some fun, okay? Let's give the Jaguar fans something to cheer about on the offensive side of the ball. If we can't do anything on defense, we have in the last couple of years, let's draft some offensive guys. Because, the Jaguars have failed on defensive ends, outside linebackers for the last 36 years. They haven't hit on a guy. So, hey, go on offense for the second straight year and, help out your young guy.
Okay. So this next 4th pick, number 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's different. They're under different management now for the Oakland Raiders. But it could be an Oakland Raiders pick that they make that nobody saw coming that would surprise people with who they take here. Because it's the Oakland Raiders, right?
Well, who you got here?
Me and my buddy were talking yesterday. He made a good point, and it makes sense. What if they take Todd Gurley at running back at number 4?
Oh, man. Number 4. You were talking about high.
You're right.
Woo! Jack Del Rio's in town. Okay. He's seen with the Broncos, you don't need that high, even though he knows he had Peyton Manning. But you can get production out of guys that are not first-round picks. I think Jack Del Rio will get it. I think he's got the ear of Mark Davis, the owner now. I think he's got more power than people really realize. And he's a defensive guy. I don't believe they will go Todd Gurley. It's just way too high for my blood. I'm going to go with, since the Jaguars didn't pick him up, and he's an outside linebacker / DN that will fit nicely in Jack Del Rio's defense, I'm going with Dante Fowler.
Okay, well, I didn't say that was my pick. I'm just saying that could be a possibility.
That will be, I guess, that would be a shocker. That would be definitely a shocker. But I'm hearing everybody, all the draft experts, everybody's just, anytime they see Raiders, they're like, they think it's going to be a stupid pick. Hey, the Raiders had a good draft last year.
Right, exactly, and that's why I said that they're under new, management, whatever.
They're under new management, and they picked the best available players last year. They did really well. Fowler's there, number 4, new defensive coach. You got to love this guy. He's 6'3", 261. The man had, recorded one of the fastest times in the first 10 yards of any front 7 at 1.59. Okay, the first 10 yards. So that means he's explosive. He's quick. Straight to the QB.
Okay, now I haven't watched tape on Fowler, and I feel like he was one of those high risers later on in the process. So I need to watch it. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I remember a couple seasons ago, everybody and their grandmother were talking about Bjorn Werner. Bjorn Werner, top 10 pick out of Florida State. This guy is a beast. This guy's a monster. When I popped in the tape, I said, this guy's a second-round pick. Why? Because all he ever wanted to do was get sacks. All he ever wanted to do was sack the quarterback. I would watch plays on him where there was, a running play that swung to the outside. And what did Bjorn Werner do? He didn't do a damn thing. He would run behind the running back and literally just run out of bounds. He runs out of bounds while the play is still happening. He doesn't pursue. He doesn't do anything. I said, this guy's a second-round pick. He falls to 24 to Indianapolis. You haven't really heard much about him since. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that when I talk about a person, I've watched the tape first. I can't really give my opinion on Dante Fowler. I feel like he's been a late riser in the process. Maybe he goes top 5, top 10. Maybe he falls. I don't know. I have no clue about the guy. I don't even know what he looks like. Nothing. So we'll see about Fowler. And that's the other reason I don't have him going. I don't know where I'd put him because I don't know if I like him or not. But at number 4, Todd Gurley would be a surprise pick, I think. I've heard Amari Cooper, Kevin White would be still on my board in my mock. I think they need a receiver though for Derek Carr. I think they look at receiver early in this draft. They need a weapon on the outside. They need a big guy. James Jones was the leading receiver last year. I think he's 31, 32 years of age. They're going to need a guy there. I think Amari Cooper or Kevin White could be a possibility. If Kevin White is still available and they really like his size, they could look in that direction. Amari Cooper has a lot of accolades from Alabama. I think it'd probably be between those two. And I'm gonna take Kevin White for the Oakland Raiders there. So, number 5 is the Redskins.
Number 5 is the Redskins. Yes, they are. You go with your 5th, and then I'll go with my. You go first with the Redskins here.
All right. The Redskins, I think they need a pass rusher now that they lost to Rakpo. They're a mess, in my opinion. I think they've been a mess for a while. Quarterback, they're a mess. Defensively, they're a mess. Front 7, they're a mess. I think one of the next pass rushers, if Dante Fowler is what everybody says he is, I think the Redskins take Fowler there. But they do also run, I believe, a 3-4, which I don't know if he would fit the scheme very well. So potentially an outside linebacker, a pass rushing outside linebacker. There's Randy Gregory, who is available. Shane Ray, who in my opinion, I told you, Ezra, Shane Ray, out of all the players I've watched, is number 1 on my board. That's who I have at number 1. Everyone says his draft stock fell. He didn't have a good combine. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. When I watched the tape last year on all the prospects, Khalil Mack played the hungriest. Khalil Mack was number 1 on my board. This year, when I watched so far, Shane Ray plays the hungriest. Shane Ray is number 1 on my board. I like what I saw out of him. He's very explosive, great edge rusher. I think he's going to fit very well at outside linebacker for a team. I don't know if he's a defensive end necessarily, but I think the Redskins look defense here at number 5 if they don't trade back, which I don't think they will. And I think they go with, a defensive end / outside linebacker. Now, who that would be, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them. Fowler, Gregory, Ray. So I think if everyone, like I said, if everyone says, this Fowler guy is who he says he's supposed to be, they go Fowler there at 5.
Well, I'm going to agree with you. They are going to go for that position, outside linebacker / DN. But I'm not going to go with Fowler because obviously he was taken in my mock draft to the Raiders. So I got them picking Vic Beasley, who ran a 4.5 and had 35 reps, baby. Man had back-to-back seasons. Well, he had back-to-back seasons with 12-plus sacks. You know what? He's going to fit their 3-4 scheme. He's going to be their lightning rod in the corner. That's what I got, Vic Beasley.
That's kind of high for Vic, I think.
Hey, some people got him. No, some people got him there. Some people got him like 7, 8.
Really?
Yeah. Some people, like you talking about Shea. There's very few people that have Shea in the top 10.
You're right.
I seen a few people him going to my Jets, but yeah, not a lot of people have him in the top 10.
At 6, it's Ezra's Jets. I think we should let him go first on this one.
All right, so I made a video about this and all that. Who I think they're gonna go with, I have no idea, to be honest. What I would like to see in my mock draft, I'm only doing this because I'm biased and the player that I want. Would you stop shooting that real quick? My roommate's playing with his gun, to be honest. But it's legal, guys. It's legal. I'm going with Amari Cooper. You know, we haven't drafted a playmaker. We haven't. I don't know if you watched my video, David. We haven't drafted a skill position offensive player and make it to the Pro Bowl since Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh, man.
That's 19 years ago. He's been retired for like 5-6 years now. You were what, 2 years old? 3 years old?
4.
When Keyshawn Johnson? That was the last time. But the reason I think I love this move, if this were to happen, is, you know, we run a spread offense now. There's Chad Gailey. I mean, there's, so Chad Gailey or something.
Chan.
Gil, I don't know.
Gailey.
Gailey's offense. You know, you want to surround it with weapons. And like always, you know, Curley and Marshall came off of injuries last year. And if one of those guys go down, the Jets wide receiver depth look very thin already. So Cooper will be that guy you can develop going years forward, and he can fit it. He can get reps in this spread offense because they're going to run a 3-4 set wide receiver sets here. So I love this from Amari Cooper, and he's the most polished wide receiver in this draft.
Didn't John Itzik bring in Eric Decker last year?
Yes.
And he trades for Brandon Marshall this year, right?
No. The new GM trades for Brandon Marshall this year.
John Itzik lasted 1 season?
2 years. He's gone. You didn't know that? We got a new general manager.
No, I just forgot, man. It's been a hectic year. Anyway, I don't know if they go receiver. As nice as Amari would be, and the depth that they would have.
Everybody's talking about they're going to go outside linebacker to complete this Todd Bowles defense. My thing is, I think our defense is pretty good already. Okay,
right.
Should be pretty good. Let me rephrase. Should be pretty good. Yes, we've been dying to get an outside linebacker. You know, this whole Rex Ryan era. You know, someone that's dominant, gets 10+ sacks, and, you know, actually complete those sacks with these Jets. But I think defensively, team-wise, we get the job done. I want to see something done on the offensive side of the ball. Help Geno out if he's going to be help Ryan Fitzpatrick. Give as many weapons as you can for this offense. And for someone to – because, you know, Brandon Marshall's 30 years old. Eric Decker's not a true number one. You got to have someone going forward. You got to have someone that's going to produce for you to the next 7 to 8, 9 years. And I think Amari Cooper, the most polished wide receiver in this draft, can do that for them. He'll play number 3 for this year, maybe go up to number 2 next year. I don't know, but he is the future, and I would love to see that happen.
I don't think it's a back pit for the Jets. I think,
if this is truly a new regime, this is what you do. This is what you do.
Well, I think, you know, we might be in agreement there, just looking at, you know, the draft board, who's available and whatnot. Amari Cooper would make sense. Decker, again, not a number 1. Marshall getting older. I would agree with that. I think I would put him there as well. I think Amari.
Even though I'm not as high on Mariota. I'm not a fan of Mariota. Let me not say high, because I'm not a fan of his at all. Okay, but I've stated this several times. I've tweeted this several times. If the Jets were to, I think they will be interested in Mariota if he falls to number 6. If they draft him, I understand why they drafted him. I think Mariota would fit well in Gailey's offense. So I just want to say that right now, even though I don't like him, I don't want them to to draft him. I will understand if they did do it.
At 7, the Chicago Bears.
Wait, who did you have the Jets picking?
Amari.
Oh, you have them also picking Amari. There we go.
At 7, I'm going to say for Chicago, I mean, you got Brandon Schreff still on the board, Eric Armstead, Ty Gurley, Randy Gregory, Andrews Pete. I don't think they go O-line. I'm thinking they might go edge rusher here. I think they go with, you know, the best player available on their board in regards to D-end, outside linebacker, and that could be Randy Gregory. You know, depending on what they see in the process. I think Randy Gregory or Shane Ray could be possibilities there for the Chicago Bears. But I'm going to say here's the other thing, though, because they're switching to a 3-4, I think, last time I heard in Chicago.
Yes.
So an outside linebacker for them needs to be like, 240, somewhere in that weight range. I think Randy Gregory is like 235, 240. Shane Ray is 245. One of those two picks makes sense. If they like one of those two, depending on who they like more, that's who they're going to take. Me personally, I like Shane Ray a lot more. If they like Randy Gregory, I'm going to say Randy Gregory just because I think more people are liking him a little bit more, even with the whole marijuana thing. I'm going to say Randy Gregory goes to Chicago at number 7.
Chicago, terrible defense. They hire a new head coach who's a defensive guy in John Fox, who could run a 4-3, a 3-4. He's already said he's going to run a 3-4, even though they got a lot of 4-3 pass rushers in Jared Allen, Lamar Houston. They gave him a lot of money. But I want to ask you a real quick question before I give my pick. What is the most important position in a 3-4?
The most important position in a 3-4?
Shame on you, David. Shame on you.
Well, I mean,
shame on you.
I mean, to me, I feel like it's one of your outside linebackers. It needs to be an elite pass rusher.
Nope. I don't believe that at all.
What are you going to say, inside linebacker?
No, it's nose tackle. It's nose tackle. Okay.
I was going to say, I mean, yeah, nose. I mean, you need somebody to anchor that defense at the middle of the line. I agree.
You need someone to take those double teams, triple teams, and free up the outside linebacker. Free up your inside linebacker. Disrupt, just take up space. They don't get the stats. They only get like 12, 20 tackles a year, maybe 1 sack, but they are the anchor of the 3-4. I'm going with the Bears picking Danny Sheldon to anchor that new 3-4 defense in Chi-Town. And not a sexy pick, but that's what, John Fox is a very smart man. He knows how to, turn teams around, get them playing hard, playing smart. He's going to make the smart move here and get Danny.
No, I mean, that pick makes sense, though. They need a big body. They need a nose tackle if they're switching to 3-4. That pick makes sense. I don't disagree with it.
Oh, that's what I'm going with.
Number 8, the
Scott Tissue of the NFL.
The Atlanta Falcons. They need defense. Now, a surprise pick would be a running back here because they need it, but I don't see that. I see defense. I say whoever Chicago doesn't take, the Falcons take at 8, depending on if they go outside linebacker. But here I'm going to say Shane Ray for the Atlanta Falcons. They need that pass rushing presence on that defense. I like Shane Ray a lot. I think this is where he goes. I think he goes to Atlanta.
Once again, I agree with you. What type of at the position they're going to pick, not the player. Usually when they also got a new coach. They got the guy from the Seahawks, Dan Quinn. And usually when you are a new coach and you get a high draft pick, usually you get a lot of influence because you want players that fit your system. And I think this guy fits his system, and that is Bud Dupree, 6'4", 270. He adds some toughness to this soft as Charmin, soft team. He gives them that defensive end, that they wanted. Hopefully they're Michael Bennett. Hopefully they're Michael Johnson, even though he was a bust with the Seattle Seahawks. But, he likes to create depth at the D-line, and I think he's going to be one of the, he's going to be the one that spearheaded Bud Dupree, Atlanta Falcons.
New York Giants at 9. I think this is going to be, I wouldn't say easy, but I think they go O-line here. I think they could go O-line. I think they go with the best offensive lineman in the draft, Brandon Schreff. Schreff, I think is how you pronounce it. But, I think this is where he falls. I think the Giants would take him at 9.
This is our second agreement in the mock draft. I have them picking Brandon here. And because, he's versatile. He could play guard. He could play tackle. And You want to protect Eli Manning. I've read some places they were thinking about wide receiver. You know, if that happens, maybe because they don't believe in Cruz long term or something like that. They could go multiple ways here, but I'm gonna go with you. You know, Tom Coughlin's an old school guy. He believes in the lines have to be strong. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the same pick as you.
Now here's the thing at 10 for the Rams. I think they need a receiver. I think they needed a number 1 receiver for the last 3 drafts, and they haven't done it. I don't know anything about Devontae Parker because I haven't watched him. I don't know anything about Brandon or Brashard Perryman. Between those two being the next receivers in line that everyone's talking about, I'll say the next receiver that you know is in line. I'm gonna say Parker there at 10 for the Rams.
The funny part is number 10 is the most interesting pick in the top 10 for me, the most interesting slot, because especially if Marcus Mariota drops, which I have him right now still available at number 10, I think the Browns trade up from number 12 and select Marcus Mariota. But also,
you think he falls to 10?
To 10. Marcus Mariota falls to 10, and the Browns trade with the Rams to select him. If not, this is what I think, though. That's what I have as my mock. The Browns jump up and select Marcus Mariota. But if they stay put, I have 3 names under the Rams right here. I have Todd Gurley. I know they have Trey Mason. Okay, I know he had a solid year, but I have Todd Gurley, Devontae Parker, who you just mentioned, and Trey Waynes. Okay, so if I had to pick a player, I'm gonna say Todd Gurley. I'm gonna say Todd Gurley. I would like to say Parker because they definitely need that number 1 wide receiver, but it's Jeff Fisher, another old school guy, believes in running. You know, you add him, Gurley, and Mason. Nick Foles, he's got a couple wide receivers. I think he believes in Kenny Britt. I guess he believes in the talent of Tavon Austin. That's why I went with Todd Gurley.
At 11, the Minnesota Vikings, I'm going to have them going with Trey Waynes. Now, Trey Waynes and Melvin Gordon, I went to high school with both those guys. And my sister has a little bit of history with Trey. In middle school, his dad was one of the counselors in middle school. I don't know if he still is. But, yeah, my sister's been over to Trey's house however many handful of times. She's met his parents. They're really nice people. So I've known a little bit about Trey. Melvin, I didn't really talk to very much in high school, but he actually first committed to Iowa before he changed his mind and wanted to go to Wisconsin. So anyway, I know a little bit about both those guys. I think Trey, interesting. It's kind of funny to see them both projected in the first round. He's being talked about as the number 1 cornerback in this draft. I think the Vikings could use a little bit of help in the secondary. A couple seasons ago, they took Xavier Rhodes. Their safety play has been solid with Harrison Smith, but I think if they want to complete that secondary, place another cornerback on that other side of Xavier Rhodes and Josh Robinson in the slot, I think Trey Waynes could complete that secondary. He could be a Viking on draft day. You're on mute, Ezra.
I apologize for that. So, I agree with you, Trey Waynes. You know, this Zimmer is still working that defense, reworking over there, and he just fits the mold over there. Maybe he would get another weapon for his boy, the new QB. I can't believe I forgot his name. He had a good rookie of the year.
Teddy Bridgewater.
I do apologize. He could go wide receiver here, give him another toy, because a lot of hype was around Peterson last year. Was it Peterson, that wide receiver? Anderson. And, he didn't pan out as much people thought.
Oh, my goodness. I told everyone Patterson wasn't going to be
and people were hyped on him in fantasy football, too.
Man.
So I could see them go, I'm going to go with Trey Waynes, but I could also see wide receiver.
Okay. 12. I don't know how many teams we're going to get through, But at 12, you'd have the Browns.
I have the Rams.
Well, you have the Rams because you say that they're going to trade up. But at 12, I mean, they're going to need a receiver. What's his name? Who's the receiver who keeps getting suspended for marijuana in Cleveland, man? Josh Gordon. I can't believe I forgot his name. Josh Gordon, he's not playing. They have who do they have? Brian Hartline.
Well,
Brian Hartline at wide receiver. Dwayne Bowe, who hasn't done diddly poo in like 3 seasons.
Well, it's not his fault.
But they're gonna need a receiver. They need a receiver. They need a big time receiver. I just don't know if they do it here. I know. I just said Parker goes at 10 to the Rams. Perryman, I feel like he's another receiver who's kind of been climbing up the ranks a little bit later on in the process, like Cody Latimer did last season. But I don't know if they go Perryman here at 12. Now, this is a tough spot for me because I really don't know who the heck the Browns take. Here's the thing. The Browns GM, Ray Farmer, I think if you rank the GMs from 1 to 32, I put him at 33.
I was supposed to say you're going to put him at okay.
I put him at 33. Put me at 32, put him at 33 because this guy has no damn idea what he's doing.
So you got him graded higher than me. Thanks a lot, David.
Okay, well, put him at 34 then.
No,
this guy has.
Yeah, you got him ahead of me. It's cool.
He has no idea. I mean, you take Johnny Manziel last year, didn't do anything. He was at number 9. Okay, after he traded back with Buffalo, he's at number 9. He trades up with Minnesota, gives up more draft picks, 1 spot to take Justin Gilbert. What did he do last year, Ezra? Can you fill me in on that?
Oh, yeah.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do nothing. He was terrible. Justin Gilbert looking like a dud so far, too early to say. Johnny Manziel looking like a dud so far, too early to say. And what did he do? He traded up for both of these guys in the first round. I don't like Ray Farmer. I think he's a very bad general manager. But with that still being said, let's see what he does. What if he you know what? Here's my pick. You ready for this, Ezra?
Go ahead.
Todd Gurley at 12 to the Browns.
I think that's a very interesting. That makes sense, and I think that would be a smart pick because even though at times their running game looked productive last year, you look at their final numbers, I don't think any running back on that roster had over 4 yards per carry. Todd Gurley will make a lot of sense, and I fought with this at my draft board, my mock draft. But since I had the Rams picking them, no. I have the Rams at number 12 now because the Browns traded up to get Marcus Mariota. I got the Browns taking Devontae Parker here. They trade down, and they still get the wide receiver they probably wanted.
I don't know if we've been getting comments in for the show or not. I only see 2.
He said, Arizona Animal said, no way Mariota drops to 12. 1 to 6, Mariota will be gone. Okay.
Redskins HTTR has his mock draft ready to go.
Hey, if Aaron Rodgers could drop to what? Was it 24?
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota can drop. Okay. Let's stop it here. And look who else has Marcus Mariota dropping. Redskins HTTR 10. What's up, boy? I haven't seen you in a while. He hasn't been in the Red Zone Blitz in a minute. He's got him number 12 going to the Browns.
I feel as if he drops past 6, though, passes the Jets, Ezra. I feel like Cleveland would trade up before that 10th spot because they would see St. Louis as a threat. I think what would happen is
they just traded for
No, I don't care. I think they would see St. Louis as a threat, and what they would do is they would trade up from 12 to 7, 8, or 9 with one of those 3 teams being Chicago, Atlanta, or New York. That's what I think.
Hey, I always said if my second best scenario, if my Jets do not get Amari Cooper, they trade down because Marcus Mariota's there. I would love that. Totally love that. So that's my second dream scenario.
Here at 13, you've got the the New Orleans Saints. I think they go Vic Beasley here. This is why I think Vic Beasley goes outside linebacker. Who they need desperately. They've changed up that entire team. No more Jimmy Graham. No more Kenny Stills. No more Ben Grubbs. Defensively, they had to let their inside linebacker, Curtis Lofton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Lofton's now a Raider. They've made a lot of different moves. Pierre Thomas is no longer on the team. But defensively speaking, last season, the Saints were terrible. And I think they're going to need to, rebuild defensively more than they do offensively. I think Vic Beasley would be a great selection for the Saints here at 13.
I think anything defensively will be a great pick for the Saints. Okay, but I'm going to surprise some people with this one also. And no, maybe he wouldn't go this high. I was about to say Marcus Peters, the cornerback, who's kicked off the team last year.
It's possible.
A lot of people say if he wasn't kicked off the team and he didn't have this off the field troubles, he would be the first cornerback taken in this draft. Okay, so people have him projected between first and the third round. So it's a lot of mixed signals, a lot of mixed notes out there about Marcus Peters, where he's going to go. I was thinking right here, number 13 for the Saints, but no, I'm gonna change that up. I'm gonna go with the man that has dropped and you fall in love with, your number one guy, Shane Ray.
Shane Ray, man, I'm telling you, the guy's a beast. Now, here's a funny thing. I know Redskins HTTR in the comments has his pick at 14. Here's my pick at 14 for the Miami Dolphins. Wide receiver Dorial Green-Beckham Jr. Or not Jr., Jesus. Dorial Green-Beckham. If it was, for his off the field issues, this guy would be the first receiver taken, I think, in this draft. I've always said I can never draft guys with off the field issues. I can never do it. Right?
Right.
Dorial Green-Beckham Jr. I keep saying Jr. because I think of Odell Beckham Jr. Dorial Green-Beckham is, I think, the first exception I will ever make.
You just think he's explosive?
There's some scouts out there that have said this guy is the best receiver since Calvin Johnson. I mean, he would be taken in the top 5 if it was not for him missing the last season, for being suspended, for the marijuana use. I've mentioned the fact that I've done general manager leagues for the last couple seasons. Two seasons ago, I took Keenan Allen in the first round. Last year, I traded up a couple of spots. I took Odell Beckham Jr. with the first pick in the second round. This year in my GM league, I took Dorial Green-Beckham. Now, I'm building somewhat of a reputation of taking the best receivers in each draft class. This year, I took Dorial Green-Beckham because I see that potential. For the record, I was the Saints. I got the Saints this year. I took him at 13th overall. But I just have a feeling that this guy has the potential to be a top 5, top 10 wide receiver, has the talent, and a couple years ago when he came out of high school and into college, he was the number 1 prospect in the country. Not the number 1 wide receiver in the country, the number 1 overall prospect in the country. So, I think there's some potential there to take him in the top 15. If the Dolphins fall in love with him, if they see that, we need another wide receiver for Tannehill, who's, this developing young quarterback on our roster, even though we just bring in Kenny Stills and we have Jarvis Landry, they did also let Mike Wallace go. So there is room for a number one wide receiver to emerge in Miami. I think this could be a possibility for them. I say Dorial Green-Beckham to Miami at 14.
You know what? I agree with you. And also, Mike Tannenbaum, the former Jets GM, he's a very aggressive guy. He takes chances, and I always love that about him. And just because a guy has this off-the-field issues and stuff like that, it won't bother him so much because he's willing, he's aggressive to do that and pull the trigger. So I agree with you here. They need a top-flight number one wide receiver to add to who I think will become and solidify his position as a top 10 QB. And Ryan Tannehill, give him the weapons, baby. That's what you're going to do. When you see a guy progressing every year, give him something to play with. That's something also against Mike Tannenbaum. He didn't get, Mark Sanchez enough weapons. Maybe he's learned from that fact. You take a guy with this much potential, and you got to pull the trigger if he drops here. So yes, I agree with you.
We'll see. I mean, I'm trying to keep my reputation going here, Ezra. My reputation's on the line, son.
So we're gonna do one more pick.
We'll do two more. We'll do the first half of the first round, then we'll maybe hop around a little bit. But at 15, you got the 49ers, who are a mess, in my opinion. This team needs all kinds of help everywhere. They fell off. They finished at 8-8. A lot of players are retiring. A lot of players not coming back. A lot of players left for other teams. I think this pick at 15 is defense for the 49ers. I just don't know who it would be. Because according to my board, Eric Armstead is still available. Danny Shelton is still available. I know they play the 3-4. I can't remember who they have at nose tackle in San Francisco, but maybe Danny Shelton. I think this is where he gets taken. Him or maybe Malcolm Brown of Texas. But I'm going to say Danny Shelton to the 49ers. They're both missing. The 49ers are missing both of their starting CBs. They have no cornerbacks right now. I'm going to go with Jalen Collins from LSU, cornerback. Okay.
That's where I got, because, you got to fill up those outside, especially now that you got no middle linebackers. Okay.
Right.
Bowman, he's there. Hopefully he's back to 100%. Justin Smith, we don't know if he's going to retire or not. Hopefully he makes his decision before the draft, because that might change what they do at number 15. But no starting cornerbacks at this point. They lost them both. I'm going, you got to draft a guy right here at this. So, Collins.
16, Houston Texans. I haven't really looked at what they need. I don't know what their needs are. I would say, quite honest with you,
maybe wide receiver. Well, I don't think there's a great tight end in this draft to take someone that high.
No.
You can say multiple things, man.
I don't know what they need. Yes. They do need a quarterback, but the next couple of guys on the list after Mariota and after Winston aren't first rounders, maybe not even second rounders.
I thought about the Texans too. If, like I said, Mariota drops as one of the potential trading,
right?
Up there, but there hasn't been much talk about that. There's been, I haven't heard anything about that. But that's just me thinking, hey, these guys need a QB. Maybe they'll trade up if he drops.
Garrett Grayson out of Colorado State, Bryce Petty out of Baylor, Brett Hundley out of UCLA, Sean Mannion, I think is how you say his last name, out of Oregon State. Those guys aren't first rounders, and maybe not even second rounders. They took Tom Savage last year in the third. I feel like, the Texans might go QB later on in the draft, but here I'm trying to figure out what some of their needs are. Outside linebacker or inside linebacker. They did, Brooks Reed, I think, is now on the Falcons. He got paid. Maybe Bud Dupree out of Kentucky would make sense for them. I know you had him go in the top 10, right?
Yes.
So I'll say Bud Dupree. That's who I'll say for the Texans.
Another defensive end?
Well, no, he's more of isn't he like an outside linebacker?
Well, I think he could do both.
Because they have Whitney Merciless on one side.
I think he's more of a defensive end than an outside linebacker, but he can do both.
So
I'm gonna go with cornerback. I'm gonna go back-to-back picks for cornerback here. I'm gonna go with Jones from UConn.
Jones?
Yes.
Jones,
baby.
So I know you got to get going soon because you got to get to work. But
believe me, I don't want to.
Yeah, and just kind of looking at the teams, I think Melvin Gordon could land at 24 to the Cardinals or at 27 to the Cowboys. I have not the slightest clue who the Packers will take. Now, Eddie Goldman could be a possibility for the next nose tackle taken after Danny Shelton. So whoever needs a nose tackle, I mean, if Eddie Goldman is there for the Packers, I would love the Packers to take him. I think we need a nose tackle for a longer period of time. B.J. Raji just signed a one-year deal. LaTroy Guion signed a one-year deal, but I think, maybe Goldman goes to Green Bay at 30. Who else can we hop around to?
Where do you have Melvin Gordon going? To the Cowboys?
I said Cowboys or Cardinals, one of those two. And we don't know what's going to happen to Adrian Peterson. There's 3 teams connected to him who could potentially trade for Adrian Peterson if the Vikings decide to do that. Cardinals, Cowboys, and now the Raiders. So it's going to be these next 2 weeks, Ezra. I can't wait. I took off of work. I'm going to lie around in my underwear eating Cheetos and doing nothing. I'm going to watch the draft. And then I'm going to watch Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. That's what I'm going to do for that whole entire weekend.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome sports weekend. Can't wait for that. Oh, it's going to be lovely. We got Max in the comment box. He slammed me and you a little bit. And he said, Farmer isn't that bad. Last season's first round was bad. But if you look at his free agent pickups, they were good. And his later round picks were great. They traded up 1 spot for Gilbert after moving down and picking up another first. Carwell had a 4+ yard per carry. This past season, him and West are fine. I don't know. I think I might dispute that. The Browns, those guys with the yak. I don't know. But he's just trying to say lay off for Farmer. And he also put his mock draft in
I see that. I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to post mine up, fellas. Just give me a couple of days. I'll post mine up in a video. The whole world can see it. But it's probably going to look similar to what you guys are throwing out. I mean, I can see, like we said earlier, I don't know at Tennessee at 2. If they don't trade down, they're not going to take Marcus Mariota, I don't believe. I think Marcus Mariota could fall if Tennessee doesn't trade back. So Leonard Williams, I think, would be the 2nd overall pick in this draft.
To me, I think it comes out. I think the Jets are the key team of Marcus Mariota coming down. I think the 6th spot is the key.
Yeah.
Because after that,
it's Cleveland. After that, it's got to be Cleveland. Cleveland or Houston. So, but with that being said, I don't know if we want to, take a couple more questions.
Okay. Crowell was 4.1. Yeah.
What happened?
Isaiah Crowell, the running back for the Browns, he had a 4.1 per carry average.
Admiral Thrawn says, I got McNutt as the #1 pick.
Well, that's how you do it, kid. He also had 3 fumbles on only 161 carries. The Browns, hey, I think they're a potential landing spot for Todd Gurley also.
Marvin McNutt, #1, baby.
Marvin McNutt is #1 in my heart. That's it. If there was a mock draft for my heart, Marvin McNutt, and my football heart right here.
I'm looking him up on Twitter right now. Marvin, there he is. Marvin McNutt. What is Marvin McNutt up to now?
They should put him back in the draft. You know, in fact, he should be eligible for the NFL draft every year.
No, hold on. Where is he? I mean, he's got a picture of the as a Panther right now, but I don't know. I'll have to hit him up, be like, hey, we want to get you on the show. But that's the thing. If we get him on the show,
we're just gonna be talking about his name. So Marvin, how long have you been McNutting?
So I don't know. We'll see.
How's the McNutt brand going on these days? Calls.
Anyway, I think that should wrap it up for the Red Zone Blitz. Unless you guys want to have any last minute teams that we want to talk about before we head out here. We didn't cover all of them. We covered about the first 16 teams, so the first half of the first round. This is going to be exciting. I haven't done a lot of research on players for the first time in a couple of years. I don't know a lot about them.
You know what's so cool about the draft and mock drafts?
Yeah,
most people, in fact, all people are way off.
Right.
The mock. I think we was talking about it last year after we did our mock drafts. I think the number one website to guess the most correct was walterfootball.com.
Okay.
And I think they had 6-7 picks.
Yeah.
And they were number one.
Wow.
6-7 out of 32.
I had about that many, I think. 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think I was one behind you. And
the year before that, or the Andrew Luck draft, I had a lot. I had like 8, I think.
But I just find it funny that 8 is considered like a ton.
It is, man. I mean, because it's unpredictable. That's the thing. That's what we all love about it.
That's what I'm saying. That you got to love that.
Yeah.
The trades come in, this and that. The face you put, like, are you serious? He went that high?
Yeah.
He got traded, blah, blah, blah. It's just, they went, oh, my God, are you serious? That's a stupid pick. The draft is just, it's the ultimate, drama movie.
It's my Christmas, man.
It makes you laugh. It makes you cry. It makes you, everything. It does everything, man. It gives you action. It gets your blood boiling. Gets you angry. Everything. All the emotions are there.
I'm interested to see where Dorial Green-Beckham goes, just because I want my streak to go 3 years in a row now with Keenan Allen, Odell Beckham Jr. and now Dorial Green-Beckham. So I'm hoping it goes 3 years strong.
I've been awake for 24 hours straight now. This is ridiculous.
How? Why?
Because I got to work at 4 a.m, and I had to handle some errands before, I go to Japan. I got to handle some stuff. And I was like, I was looking like a mess. Notice I don't have my beard right now. I had to contact my barber. Not everybody can handle their hair at home like you, David. So I had to contact my barber. I was like, yo, dude, I'm going to Japan. I need you to work on this because I know you're off tomorrow. So I had to get a haircut at 8 o'clock this morning. I had to do the Red Zone Blitz. And now I got to go to work. So
you're crazy, man.
Yeah. So today I might be, I might have time after Japan because after today I might sleep at work, get laid off, and I'll have plenty of time. It's all right. It's okay.
I think that's gonna wrap it up for the Red Zone Blitz.
Just might McNutt all over.
All right.
Marvin McNutt, that place. Show them like who the man is.
We are going to head out on the Red Zone Blitz.
Okay.
And here, hold on. One last question. Wolf, I wants to know who we got for Cincinnati. So 2 questions.
Oh, we got 2. Oh, we got a couple questions. Oh man.
Okay, so we'll save that. We'll save that one for the last. But for Cincinnati, who do they need? Another defensive player, I think maybe. Safety, Landon Collins, maybe. I don't know who Cincy takes because I think they're drafting at 21.
Yes, they are. They're drafting at 21. Maybe Maybe a defensive end. I know didn't they get Michael Johnson back?
Yeah, they re-signed him.
You know,
Landon Collins, maybe Landon Collins at safety. But Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Ezra, who you got in this one?
why did my roommate give me a little blue pill? I don't have these kind of problems. Just because I said McNutt, you don't have to give me this blue pill. I don't know what this is.
Come on, man.
Anyway, Manny? I'm going Manny. I'm cheering for Manny Pacquiao.
That's what I'm
But
cheering
if I was
for.
a betting man, I'll probably go with Mayweather. But I'm going with Manny Pac.
Okay? Yeah.
Because Mayweather to me has been the most. Man, that dude is boring, man. I can't watch his fights. I do watch his fights, but they're so boring to me. Okay, I give Mayweather. I said this for the last couple years. He's the greatest defensive fighter I've ever seen. I am not a boxing historian. I am not saying he's the greatest or anything. I'm just saying the best defensive fighter I have ever seen is Mayweather. The best boxing karaoke I've ever heard is Manny Pacquiao. I'm going Manny Pacquiao. Beautiful voice. All right. The best karaoke in the business. I'm going to Manny Pac. And you know what? It will be in Mayweather's bank account's interest to actually lose this fight. Because if he loses this fight, that rematch, you think he's getting paid now? Watch these guys in the next fight.
You think there will be a rematch? Do you know how long it took for this boxing match to take? It's been like 7 years in the making.
Mayweather's going to make $150 million off this fight. Easy. You ain't go. What? A rematch? That means if there's a rematch, he has potentially to make $300 million in 2 fights.
We'll
Damn
see.
right, there'll be a rematch if he loses.
All I know is
even if he wins, and if Manny Pacquiao came very close to this and that, he might do a rematch. But it'll be even better, and more interest will be, there'll be more buzz if he loses. Because, they beat the undefeated streak, even though a lot of people in the boxing world they already have him with a loss, but not officially. And his next fight is his last fight in his big-time Showtime contract. So, yeah.
We'll see. I'm rooting for Manny. I would love to pick Manny, but this is going to be a close one. I think it's going to be closer than people think. Because I don't think anybody's really posed, as big of a challenge as Manny.
Whoever brings McNutt to the stage, into the ring, you know how they have their peeps, their crew coming into the ring? Whoever brings McNutt is going to win. Plain and simple.
Oh, man.
Am I right, though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Willify just said
right.
People still use barbers? Like, what am I supposed to use? What did he just say? Or I'm supposed to cut my own hair? I don't look this beautiful with just all my, I don't wake up like this. I'm not David. This takes a lot of hard work. All right? But, yeah, seriously, walk in with McNutt, you'll be all right.
All right. We're going to head out. Ezra's got to get to work. I got to go grab lunch.
Wait. Didn't we get a question on the Twitter? From yesterday?
Oh.
Master Plan 22?
Oh, that's right. We did get a question.
Master Plan 22, the cops, oh, man, they coming for me. Would the Jets be crazy not to draft Mariota if he's there at number 6? Would they be crazy not to draft him?
This is all you. You're the Jets fan.
Well, you got to give your opinion, too.
All right.
Not to be crazy. Hey, if you're asking me, like I said, I am biased. I don't think they would be crazy at all to pass him up.
I think they'd be damn crazy if they didn't draft Marcus Mariota. You know how long the Jets haven't had a quarterback? Don't talk about Chad Pennington, because Chad Pennington was a top 15, not top 10, top 15 quarterback. If you have a shot at potentially drafting the best quarterback in this draft at 6, he is available, and you don't have to trade up or give anything up to acquire him. You bet your ass you're going to have to go out and get him.
That's not the question. The question is, David, do you believe he will become a top 10 quarterback in this league?
I don't care. That's not the
What
question.
you don't care?
Listen,
You
the
don't
potential.
draft number 6 because you don't believe he's gonna because he's gonna become a quality guy.
You talk about potential, Ezra. You talk about the potential because we don't know. We can't see into the future.
You gotta believe in that.
Okay, right, correct. You have to believe.
You gotta believe in
but
it.
you need a shot.
You believe.
You have a
Do
shot.
you believe he's gonna be a top 10 guy? Do you believe it? Do you see it? When you watch that tape, you be like, damn, this guy, man, he's got the goods to be top 10.
Yeah, he has the potential. He has the potential. I don't see him being a top 10 QB, but I think he has the way he carries himself as a person, as a player, top 10 quarterback. The way he plays the game, not top 10 quarterback. If he can switch, look.
I'm not drafting a top 10 person. I'm drafting a top 10 QB.
Look,
get out of here with this.
No, man.
He's a person.
Listen,
that.
Look.
You know, Shane Battier should have been in the first overall pick then. Get out of here, man. What are you talking about?
That's
Tim Tebow should have been number 1 overall then.
I'm just saying.
The
way top 10 quarterbacks carry themselves, look at them, study that, see how they do it. Mariota's like that.
It would not be crazy.
The reason why I said not player.
It would not be crazy you pass him. If you asking me, it would not be crazy. I'll be cheering it.
It wouldn't be crazy for any other team.
If we let him walk on by, if we pick Amari Cooper, I'll be like this. I'll be, P. Diddy shaking everything. Okay, right.
But I'm talking about any other team.
Dropping it on the floor.
Any other team that doesn't take Mariota, fine. But if the Jets have him at 6, Ezra, man, we're talking about Geno Smith.
Let him walk on by.
Ezra, we're talking about Geno Smith.
I don't think it's crazy, but like I said before,
we're talking about Mark Sanchez.
If they draft him, I understand.
We're talking about Vinny Testaverde.
I won't hate on the move. I won't hate on it.
We're talking about 39-year-old Brett Favre. We're talking about Chad Pennington.
That was the last good quarterback we had was Brett Favre.
When is it going to be the Jets' turn? When are they going to take a chance on a guy?
I wish he would have stayed, man. Brett Favre was throwing them touchdowns. We was looking like the best team in the NFL. And then the Iron Man. That's how you know the Jets are cursed. The Iron Man in the history of NFL QBs hurts his shoulder. Big time injury. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're cursed. Don't take Mariota because you'll be cursed, Mariota. You say he's a top 10 person. Once he gets on the Jets, he'll probably have a couple DUIs.
Oh, come on.
You know, start using some smack. I would never wish that on you, but I'm just saying the Jets are cursed. Bad things. You know, he might start stealing candy from babies and everything. Let's go, Cooper. Come on down.
Yeah, Cooper can be a criminal now, right? Not Mariota. Right? What?
Man, I just said Mariota could become a criminal.
Yeah, you did. You said he can be stealing candy from babies and everything.
He'll start stealing DVDs from Blockbuster. Mariota. That's what he look like. He come to the Jets and start stealing DVDs from and there's no more Blockbuster.
There is no No, there isn't.
Willify said, you gotta. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is a compliment or not. David would make a beautiful woman. Ezra, on the other hand,
what the heck?
Well, you know what? I take that as a compliment.
A beautiful woman.
You will make a beautiful woman. Ezra, on the other hand, is a man's man. I am the Chuck Norris of the Red Zone Blitz. Thank you, Willify.
Anyway, look, we gotta go.
Oh yeah, I gotta go to work. Oh man,
you gotta go in 20 minutes. You gotta get there in 20 minutes. I might live stream.
In a couple weeks. I'll be up.
I might be live streaming on my channel while the first round is going. I might not. Stay tuned. Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Check out Ezra's as well.
So, and honor my vacation. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
I don't know why I had to put the accent. That was a little racist. So I apologize. Yeah, sayonara.
All right, take it easy. We'll see you whenever we see you, Ezra, because you're going to be in a different continent. And we'll catch you guys Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. We're out.
Later.